Okay, hello. So I just want to do a quick review on Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. So I did a bit of a preview video for Stillness is the Key about a month ago. So you can find that on YouTube under my name, Thomas Maguire. So basically I did that review just to I couldn't wait for the book to come out. So I just wanted to talk about what I thought it was likely to be about. I've since listened to it on Audible, finished it yesterday. Took about 2.5 days roughly of just whenever I got the chance just to listen to it. And just got a couple of things to say about it. It might be useful if you don't have time to read it or listen to it, or if you just want to have a bit of an idea before you commit to it. These books do take a few hours to get through, so if you're not too sure, then hopefully you have a better idea after this review. Okay, so this book really surprised me actually. It was a real pleasant surprise. I didn't expect it to be fantastic. I knew it'd be pretty good, probably, being Ryan Holiday. I've read his Ego is the Enemy, which I really liked. I haven't yet read The Obstacle is the Way, but I've heard it's really, really good, so I will give that a go at some point. So I knew this book would be quite good, but I wasn't too sure. I was a bit worried it might be a bit vanilla, a bit boring. Kind of the title, Stillness is the Key. I kind of thought to myself, how much can you talk about kind of stillness and being present and putting mobile phones away and switching the telly off and stuff. I just wasn't too sure what it would be like. So I'm going on a bit, but I had expectations, but they weren't necessarily that high. So I was pleasantly surprised that this book is really actually quite characterful in the way it's written. It really kind of spoke to me and held my attention the whole way through. He uses some really good examples of people through history, and how they managed to find stillness in their life even though they were under huge pressure. So Winston Churchill, for example, obviously a man who was under massive pressure for a great many years and used to do ridiculous 100-hour weeks and stuff like that, and he used to find stillness through painting, through going for walks and having strange routines like having a couple of baths a day. He wouldn't see his wife until midday. He used to say that the sort of the bedrock of a good marriage was to not see your wife, your husband, until midday, or to never see them before midday. So there were some interesting things in there. He also talked about the owner and founder of American Apparel. I didn't really know anything about them. I didn't realise they were a massive company, worth billions, and then sort of came crashing down. And that guy was an example he uses as someone who didn't really have any kind of respect or understanding of stillness and just basically took everything on his own shoulders. Had a massive, had a real open door policy where anyone could get in touch with him at any time of the day, employee or customer, and he was basically answering the phone all the time and almost took on this kind of arrogant sort of godlike role, which obviously he wasn't able to maintain because he's human, the same as the rest of us. And he ended up not sleeping at all and basically having a nervous breakdown, and things just went wrong. He was sleeping in the office in the end and just went a bit crazy. So stillness, so important nowadays. We're all under so much pressure. I myself find myself doing too much at times, and I tend to find I fill my free time with sort of as much learning as possible, like listening to audiobooks and things, when actually now on reflection, perhaps I should just be just being a bit more quiet, trying to find stillness through maybe when I'm walking with my dog, instead of listening to an audiobook at the same time, just being there in the moment and appreciating nature, breathing in the air, appreciating what's around me. And I think it's really important for our health. I think it's a really bad habit to get into, to have this thing where you are bored so easily and you have to pull your phone out every opportunity. I was in a hospital waiting room recently and everyone in there was staring at their phones, heads down. And I was just looking around, just thinking, even from a kind of sensible safety point of view, it's such a vulnerable position to put yourself in, just have your head down staring at a phone. I think it's healthy just to be aware of what's going on around you, just to be, not to be paranoid, but just to be aware of what's happening, who's coming and going, and just keep your eyes open a little bit. So I tend to do that on principle anyway. But I think from a mental point of view and from a success point of view, it's so much better to find moments or seek opportunities where you can just have that quiet time where you just switch off from the stresses and strains of everyday life. Get in the shower, don't think about work when you're in the shower, just allow the hot water just to kind of run over you and just think about that and relax. Almost try and get into a meditative state whenever you possibly can. I don't think it matters if you're someone who struggles academically and isn't maybe particularly traditionally successful, or whether you're a high flyer and you're massively successful and whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. I think just taking that time to unplug and relax and appreciate what's going on around you and be present is a really important message. And this book, I think, does a really good job of talking about that in a way that is not only kind of informative, but is actually quite entertaining. Like I said earlier, I really enjoyed it. It has a real character and a real feel to the book. And I didn't find it boring. It maybe took me sort of half an hour to get into it properly, perhaps. But that tends to be the case with a lot of books, so that wasn't necessarily to hold against it. But yeah, I think Ryan Holiday with Stillness is the Key has done a really good job of talking about a really important message in a well written way that's really quite interesting and enjoyable. So I really highly recommend this book. I'm on about 70 books so far this year. Most of them have been personal development. As I said in my last video, I don't just exclusively read personal development books. I think it's healthy to have a bit of variation. I read the odd fiction book as well, and other things. I think it's good to sort of expand your horizons a little bit, but I really enjoy personal development books, and I would definitely say that this one is one of the better ones for sure. It's not the very best I've read, but it's definitely at the top end of the books that I've read. He's done it really well, actually. So yeah, so Ryan Holiday's Stillness is the Key, I would definitely suggest giving it a go. It's particularly relevant in this modern age. I think everyone really should give it at least a bit of a go and learn from some of the lessons and implement them in their lives.